Hello everyone and welcome from ETHCapeTown. This is another edition of the Blockchain Developer Chat and I'm here with the man himself, Simon de Rouviere, and I did not mess up his name.
No, that was good.
So yeah, he is here is very famous for his work with bonding curves, but I would like for him to tell a little bit more about himself. So.
Yeah, sure. My name's Simon, as you said, de Rouviere, you pronounced it correctly. I've been in the blockchain space for a few years, got involved with Ethereum from the start, worked at Consensus from early 2015, and through that period I worked on blockchain applications in the music industry, but also new kinds of token economics, curation markets, bonding curves, and just reading and writing a lot and sharing ideas so that other people can help bring forth this exciting future. I'm also from Cape Town, so this is my home, and it's exciting to see everyone here, so I'm just excited to share my home with other people.
Yeah. How is the community in Cape Town going forward? At least the development wise, I've seen like amazing progress. But how is it in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean it's I think the Lennon Labs team that's organized this hackathon with ETH Global, they've done so much great work in the past few years in building a community here. I was always that person who was just like, I just want to sit and code and write and read and research. They did the hard work of actually building the community, also do meetups, Ethereum meetups, education, like teaching people, to hosting something like this where half the people are people that are new to Ethereum. So that's quite exciting. Yeah, so it's grown a bit.
Yeah, and you were big part of Ujo Music for a long time. And can you share with us like what are like the main takeaways that you get when you were building Ujo Music, like as a developer? What are like your lessons learned that we should be aware of, and like what we should do or not do?
I can definitely share some tidbits there. As a developer, the hardest thing was trying to make a trade-off between working on the platform and working on the product. Because at the end of the day, you need to make sure you're building something that is a platform, but that people are actually also going to use, the end users, the musicians themselves. And like trying to explain to them like what this is has been an incredibly tough job. And so as a developer, you always shifted between like prioritizing that and just as a big struggle. So as a developer, you have to like really think hard and say like, I'm going to stick with this and stay in this lane. So you're going to start switching lanes. That's when you're going to start losing focus, context switching, a lot of effort. So pick one thing and stick with that. And pick your users well. If your users are developers, you're building a platform. If your users are end users like musicians, you're building a product. So you can have the roadmap of the engine, the platform, but everything doesn't need to work from day one. So that's sort of important, just to keep that trade-off in mind. That's been the hardest thing building something like Ujo Music.
Well, when you built Ujo Music, it was the time that Ethereum was fairly new. It was not as nearly as advanced as it is now. If we can say that now it's advanced, but I think it's fairly advanced now. But how did you dealt with the legacy that you actually had? Because pretty much you have built something like a year before anyone else actually built something that's meaningful. So how did you actually make the transition? Like, how did you upgrade when actually Ethereum upgraded and made leaps and bounds? What's like some suggestion there for people that are like going to build something now, but in a year it's going to have like something new?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think in earlier days people were a lot more adamant that we shouldn't be upgrading things. Like there should be the same principle and much deeper principles of saying like you build once and then you leave it. But nowadays it's much more saner and realistic to say the space is not changing much faster. We don't know what's going to look like in 5 years. We don't know what's going to look like 10 years. Keep in mind how that works. And it's totally fine if there's some upgradeability and some centralized institution upgrading it, as long as there's a possibility for people to gently exit on their own terms, right? And if the developers have some roadmap to say, we're eventually going to give this in a full decentralized platform at this point in the future, then everyone's happy with that, because then everyone agrees where this is going.
Something like upgradable mechanisms governed by DAO. All right.
But then eventually the upgrading mechanism, if things are mature enough that it actually serves its users, to then go and say, we're going to turn off the upgradability forever. for the sort of the final, like,
Yeah, it's like the ERC20 tokens that you make mintable, but eventually say you call a function that says finish minting. I'll never ever mint token again.
yeah.
Okay, absolutely makes sense. And I'm ready to throw at you my favorite $1,000,000 question. What, in your opinion, is the like most exciting, most useful tool or concept that is actually not utilized too much by developers, that more developers need to be able to learn and utilize? What is this for you?
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of the stuff that's being invented now in the blockchain is somewhat taken from the existing world and just sort of copied over, but not enough time is given to say, like, how can this actually be improved? Like, let's not build an organization on the blockchain that looks like a normal organization. Like, how could we improve it with the technology we have now? Because what you're doing actually then is saying, when the web was invented in 96 and then 94, 96 became popular, the first people that said, we're just going to publish a newspaper online. And it's like, wait, hang on. We can actually publish news more than once a day. And that's when the revolution started. In the same manner. So that's why I'm spending a lot of time now on things like curation markets, bonding curves, these kind of new primitives that allow you to rethink how you coordinate with new technology. So obviously I'm biased by that because this is some stuff I've been working on for a few years, but I think it's still early days. There's so much innovation happening, and there's a lot of people that are involved working on very exciting parts of it, and I would definitely invite more people to get involved.
All right, cool. It's been absolute pleasure to speaking with you, man. And absolutely, thank you for hosting us here in Cape Town.
Hope you enjoy it.